The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello there and welcome to the show. It's brought to you in association with Levi's Solicitors, who will offer you a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Michael, you're holding something in your hand. What is that document?
It's just to remind me some of the legal services they do. Wills, probate and conveyancing, the three they've listed. But I think I knew them anyway.
If you're lucky enough to be on the video version of this, you would have seen Michael hold that up to the camera.
And on the other side of it is our latest magazine too.
It's on the back of issue 1 of the Square Ball for this season. But the important thing here is to say thank you to Levi's for coming on board for another season as well, here on the weekly show. Wills, probate, conveyancing, and more legal services, as they've put on their advert.
You can tell us about.
Oh.
Not that easy, is it? See?
Love them all.
Yeah, they're all good though.
Yeah, I mean, beyond those three, so many.
Wills.
Yeah.
Conveyancing, you got your probate, you've got all of them.
Yeah, dispute resolution is my favourite, which we're going to come on to actually in part 2 of this show. However, to avail yourself of that 10% discount on your legal fees, levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. We need to get some Wills Probate Conveyancing merch made up, I think. It's taken on a life of its own. Anywho, into it then. So this is the weekly news roundup, stuff that's emerged over the last 7 days, and what a tiring 7 days it's been. Season's back. Nobody wants to be here. We're trying to sign some players. Some of them don't even want to be here.
It's not even a tiring 7 days. Sunday morning we came in here, full of beans, going to piss the league. It's what,
5 days.
Thursday lunchtime?
Yeah.
Ruined.
So
it's all on fire.
We've got a Willy who doesn't want to be here. A Welsh Joe who's supposedly on his way in, maybe by the time this one gets put out. Max Aarons doesn't want to be here.
I had to change the prep sheet for Max Aarons.
Oh, was it nice before?
It was. It seems like a good signing, good age, plays for the England under-21s, even though it's 23, which seems a bit of a cheat to me, but he was playing for them. Played loads of games in the Championship, so great experience. Then I had to change it to little turncoat bastard, fuck him.
Yeah, which is fair enough. Didn't want him anyway, did we?
No.
Absolutely
We've got
not.
too many right-backs.
Yeah, if we've got Sam Byram already from down there, I think we've got the plum choice, and he didn't hesitate. Didn't even think twice about signing with Leeds, did he?
We've got Sam Byram, technically Rasmus Christensen, Luke Ayling, Cody Drame. Didn't need Max Aarons, did we?
Shackleton.
Shackleton.
He can play there.
Yeah. So, really, he's done us a favour.
Stuart Dallas.
He's done us a favour by going to the Premier League and not playing for us.
Yeah, good. I wanted to spend that money on a striker anyway.
And there have been rumours, I don't know how true this is, that Rio Ferdinand is somehow involved in being his agent. So again, we don't want that sort of bad news through the door, do we?
I think he works at the agency,
right?
Like, rather than he doesn't negotiate contracts, because why would you let Rio Ferdinand negotiate anybody's contract? But he hasn't kind of advises players. Like, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, if you're an agent and you can go when you've got a decision about whether to turn up for a drugs test or not.
Just say you were shopping.
Rio Ferdinand is just a phone call away, and because we're paying him, he has to speak to you.
Do I show up or not?
Although famously, I think he left his phone at home, didn't he, when the drug testers were trying to get in touch with him?
Maybe it'll be the same thing.
A shame.
He'll screen your call just to make sure that it's something that he's interested in and wants to do, but because there's a financial interest in it for him, you can just, you and Rio will be besties.
As long as it's not pissing in a cup, I'm happy to answer this. I'll take any questions.
What's the favourite thing you've pissed in?
That's an interesting question.
Have a think about it. Come back to it if you want.
I do remember pissing in a mango sorbet tub at Leeds Festival once.
Right.
I had to bail it out halfway through. It was not as big as I imagined it to be.
Mango is like a litre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had quite a bit to drink.
Which for our American cousins, is that a quart? I don't know. Something like that.
Don't know.
Mango specifically.
Yeah, I remember it was a mango sorbet.
Mango sorbet must be nice, that, to be able to afford things like that, luxuries like that at a festival. That it was all LSD and hunger.
I carted it down from the Sainsbury's. It was when it was at Temple Newsome.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Shopping at Sainsbury's, that must be nice as well. Can't go there anymore. Pure Aldi. Anyway, back to Max Aarons. Have you got any more shade we can chuck it in before we move on to someone else?
Yeah, his cousin played for Huddersfield. So he's a family of Leeds-hating perverts.
Well, I have met a cousin of Max Aarons who was very nice.
Oh.
He's like a
blood relative or?
No, cousin.
By marriage?
I mean, I didn't get into that. So
you should have asked.
Max Aarons is his cousin. So yeah, I'm kind of recusing myself from too much abuse, but letting you.
Okay. Well, how did you meet
lay down the law.
this cousin of
Just
Max
mate of a
Aaron's?
mate. So
Favourite thing you've ever pissed in Moscow?
a toilet's because I'm clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Always the recommended option.
It's top of my list.
It's in the top one. Right, yeah. So
Alleyways.
Max Aaron's was supposed to be coming in with Joe Roden. Is not. All right, looks all right. Just Joe Roden, very good for this level. These are all the things we would have said about Max Aaron's. However, where did Joe Roden spend last season on loan?
He went to France.
Whereabouts? Or don't you call it France?
Yeah, France. He was playing for Rouen. Who else was? Because obviously Rouen is where we got Rafinha, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there another Rouen connection in the meantime?
Wasn't there that striker we were after?
Terrier.
Tellier.
Oh, maybe.
Martin Terrier.
Yeah, he was cool, wasn't he?
Who at 25 years old had zero resale value. Too old, that old chump.
Yeah, I don't feel like I know a lot about Joe Rodon. I knew enough to correct whoever put his name on the sheet as Joe Rondon.
Oh, I'm thinking of Salaman Rondon there, aren't I?
Yeah, I do instinctively.
I always read it as that, yeah.
Yeah, I go to Rondon, and I also think of Rondo, the training exercise. So he's a bit.
It's also connected to Joe Rogan as well.
Yeah, so he's a bit obscure in all these respects. And when you do an image search of him, he just looks like exactly how you'd think the Wales centre-back would look in 2023. It's like he's very much just kind of standard issue template centre-back.
He doesn't look like I expected him to.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he's surprising somebody.
Yeah. He's got sleeve tattoos, which I think is very unusual for a footballer.
Oh, yeah. Such an original choice. Not that I mind him, to be fair, but, you know. Welcome, Joe, anyway.
There's a great photo. If you find the photo from the BBC story, Joe Roden blow for Wales and Swansea as defender out for 3 months. The picture is the expression on the photo. The expression on his face in the photo is probably how I'm imagining him today when he's like, look, you leaked Max to Leeds and you got a better move. Why am I having to sign for them?
Mm-hmm.
Can't we get Luton on the phone? Someone? Nottingham Forest?
I thought the whole point of this was to get me a Premier League move, but now I'm having to actually sign for Leeds.
Different, innit? That's a lot.
We're
only borrowing him.
Even the guy I'm talking to with the contract won't shut up about how good Luton are. What is happening?
Anyway, so he's coming in. I'm glad about that because I'd say we need a centre-back.
Correct. And I suppose I prefer this to spending £10 million on Nat Phillips because they feel like similar sort of players who were at a big Premier League club with at least aspirations of top four and can't get a game there, so get loaned out. But then 10 million for Phillips felt a bit. It felt a bit much.
It's a bit Liverpool tax, isn't it?
Yeah, this feels a bit like it should be on some kind of Premier League lad podcast. But do you want to talk to me more about Spurs' top four aspirations?
No, I couldn't care less about it.
Yeah, Harry Kane to Munich already, isn't it?
I'm still reeling / laughing from your attack on the general EFL podcasts that we did at the start of propaganda. Like, why do you even care? He could start talking about Spurs and we could then shout at him.
I think it's probably fair to say we want no one to finish in the top four in the Premier League.
Here's this, right? Harry Kane to Bayern Munich. I think that's going to be bad for Spurs. Now tell me why it's going to be good.
It's going to be good for him because he's been too dominant there and they're going to do better without him, probably. I
think it'll be bad because they won't have a striker.
Should we needlessly debate the merits of Harry Kane versus, I don't know, Lewandowski?
Yeah, which one do you think is the GOAT?
Harry Kane.
Well, Lewandowski gets you a higher Scrabble score.
I'm going to shout each of you down if you try and say otherwise.
You know, it's Jordan Bataka comes up from time to time because he's never far from my thoughts. Did we discuss the other time that he had a higher skill rating on FIFA than Messi? Because I was rereading some of my...
One individual skill rating or the overall skill rating?
I wrote a whole thing about it at the time that I'd completely forgotten about, and it was because of Messi, unsurprisingly, sort of had a better all-round game.
No.
But just on pure skills, somehow Bataka had a rating of 94 and Messi was 93 or something like that. So officially better than Messi.
Well, I mean, Jordan Bataka's not basically retired to the MLS now, has he? He's still ploughing his trade in one of the major European leagues.
He is the GOAT.
Midfielders, can we have some?
Too expensive, aren't they?
Gustavo is a good name, though, isn't it?
Gustavo Hammer.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a Gustavo.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's been a Gus.
There was a Gus Poyet.
Of course, there's been and he was Gustavo, wasn't it? Right, I take it all back. But
He wasn't a player.
no, but he was here.
He was here.
I'd quite like him because he looks really good, which has automatically my Leeds brain has gone, well, we're not getting him then because I've been all consumed by cynicism now since Sunday because I'm tired.
Well, you just bring. He's not. He won't help you though because somebody whose name is synonymous with gloom is not going to be like the person to cheer you up.
You're thinking of Hammer horror movies there? Is that what you're thinking?
No, Gloomy Gus.
All right, okay.
Obviously, that's what everybody called Gus is known for being gloomy, even if the most cheerful person alive. The Hammer horror part is just a headline writer's dream.
Sounds like we could potentially do this, but we're going to need to pay money to Coventry, and they want quite a lot.
Why is that a problem?
Just do it. Be aggressive in the window. That's what I say.
Aren't we owned by a bunch of millionaire sports people who love, like they've all reaped the benefits of money changing hands for athletes. So it shouldn't be difficult to explain the concept. Lots of money, good player, and what are they doing? They're all pretending they've left their
checkbook at home,
their Bitcoin wallet somewhere where they can't extract it.
I mean, he is a mixture of Brazilian and Dutch, which is surely the perfect combination for a midfielder.
Total football and flair.
Exactly.
Do you want him?
Yeah.
I desperately want him. I want them all.
You're going to get him?
I'm sort of mindful that based on the it's game. I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm just mindful based on watching the threadbare nature of our midfield and the fact that like Darko JB struggled a little bit in that Shrewsbury game, that we're basically relying on a teenage boy and a new Nathan to carry things at the minute. And if one or either of those gets injured, we're up shit street. So buy all the midfielders, as you have recommended before, Michael.
Although, do you remember, I was thinking this watching the game last night, how when we lost to Derby in the playoffs, there was a little bit of you thinking, well, Shackleton will play more next year and that'll be fun.
He was brilliant in that game.
Yeah.
Him and Dallas kind of pulled us, well, didn't pull us through it because we lost, but they were both exceptional. There's still a player in Shackleton, isn't there? And then Bate came on, looked very good. But I think that's where...
They're all boys. They're all boys.
Well, I don't know how much longer Shackleton can kind of string out his boy status.
He still looks like a boy.
Yeah, so he's probably, still getting ID'd for cigarettes. But with Gus Hammer, he seems like under our previous regime, we probably would have done what Coventry did and sign him in 2020 when he was, what is he, 26 now, minus like 22, 3. And
Moscow does maths.
Let him and been like, oh yeah, we've picked him up. And he was probably, I mean, it's only sort of in the last year that everyone's gone Gustavo crazy. So we would have had to put up with the bits where he was a bit rubbish, having signed him for a fee exceeding $1 million, it says on Wikipedia. And then we would sell him to, for example, Sheffield United, which is where he's probably going to go anyway.
He's not going. They don't want to get relegated, does he? Come
will
to us and get promoted. Come on.
We'll be in that. We're changing the zone if we're signing a 26-year-old who has already been signed from the Eredivisie and played in the Championship. So it's kind of like letting Coventry do that bit.
They're doing the beta testing.
Yeah, it's like getting the finished J. Roy Grott, like instead of what we had, which was the raw J. Roy Grott. And we'd probably, maybe if he'd gone to Coventry in the first place, we might be signing him now and he'd be the answer to all our, because we're trying out for Matt Smith to come back.
I mean, I don't think we are.
Grott.
I don't think the general consensus in the fan base is that Matt Smith should come back.
J. Roy Grott would be the natural alternative.
Approaching his mid-30s.
But he's in Japan now and doesn't appear to be getting many games because I don't see many alerts for him since he's gone to Kashiwa Reysol.
So yeah, I want us to buy him because he's a midfielder, because we're obviously losing Tyler Adams in the process of him going to Chelsea. Again, it's you wanted to keep him, but I don't know, I feel really apathetic towards the disassembling of this squad that's been put together post-promotion. I'm really not arsed. I'm really not.
I liked Adams a lot last year.
I just want us to rebuild well.
I can also see the argument, though, that he's not necessarily what you need in a Championship promotion campaign, because he's good stuff last year was without the ball, to use Hecky phrases, whereas we've got the ball. So
yeah.
just get Gus instead.
Yeah, if you
and
can
let him do some stuff.
if you can get some players to go in alongside Ampadu looks tidy. At 7 million rising to 10, fine. It's a shame that it's only 20, but what can you do? You can't control the.
Well, you could have done
we
contract
can't-
negotiation stage.
we can't control the relegation
No,
release
we can't.
clauses. They could have done. You would have liked more, but so be it.
Thanks, Victor.
Ampadu will do, won't he? Because there's kind of you need some different kinds of midfielders. Ampadu will do what Tyler Adams could do in the Championship perfectly adequately. So we don't need them both. We need a different kind of midfielder alongside Ampadu, and it may as well be. So we may as well let him go to Chelsea. I just wish Chelsea would just bloody sign him because it's so. I'm just I was just going to look at.
Are you bored of it? I am already.
I've done a little look at how many all the stories that the Athletic are publishing every single day about the Chelsea consider a bid, and then why Premier League clubs want Tyler Adams, and then it's advanced talks, and then they're going to step up the transfer interest this week, and then they're closing in. They're set to activate his deal. It's like this is all just the same thing over and over again. That they're gonna do it. They are going to do it. Tell me when it's done.
Football cliches do a lot on this, don't they? About the different stages of are considering,
and it's also it's interesting. There's a resource issue here as well because poor old Southampton don't have a writer anymore because they got relegated. But it started with just Liam Twomey doing consider the bid, and then when it was stepped up on Monday, that was Phil Hay and Simon Johnson. And then now that they're closing in, it's Phil Hay, Dan Sheldon and Simon Johnson. So that's 1, 2, 3, at least 4 different people all to say Chelsea might thinking about probably going to sign Tyler Adams.
It's almost like The Athletic's an American-based website.
They're obsessed with Wrexham.
Were they eyeing a swoop at any point?
Oh, I don't know. They're doing all that kind of stuff, weren't they? They're closing in lately.
Great, we should say. Great bunch of lads, though.
It was better than, what was the old, I put it in the Daily Email yesterday so I can find it. Team Talk came up with a terrifying spin on it, where it was that, Chelsea, gazump, Man United and Liverpool as brutal Leeds raid thunders towards completion. Fucking hell. I know Leeds are supposed to be aggressive in the window, but a brutal raid thundering towards completion. It's now reminding me of...
that could be the show title, by the way.
There was a front cover of the Daily Star years ago when there'd been
a thundering raid.
There'd been some bad storms. And they described it as the screaming hellstorm. It's been quite windy on the coast. The screaming hellstorm hit Bridlington. So that's maybe, if it's that every day, if there's brutal raids thundering towards completion, I might, be interested. And that might be worth 3 people workshopping the headline.
There was actually a man on a scissor lift doing something on the cop as I drove past on the motorway. So maybe that's part of the raid. Maybe that's where they've gone in. Straight through the back of the cop.
Right.
It's possible.
You'd tunnel in, wouldn't you? You'd tunnel in and you'd connect with the well underneath the pitch, and then you'd go up and you'd when Tyler Adams is just like maybe warming up, stretching a little bit, grab his ankle and just woof, got him.
Yeah, shame to see him go. Good player, but if it does free of us of some of those more, shall we say, annoying Twitter accounts that seem to follow around the American players, then good. Because that noise has been quite unwelcome.
Though they also hate Chelsea because of
how they treated Prince Pulisic.
Because obviously he was probably the best player in the world, but mismanaged by Chelsea.
Yeah.
Pulisic has gone, hasn't he?
Yes,
he's gone to Milan, and so has that other lad as well from Valencia, whose name escapes me, who's also American. So those weirdos will all now descend over there.
I mean, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, who was the guy at West Brom, Daryl Dyke, who went from Barnsley to West Brom? I don't know if they ever had to put up with all this, did they?
He wasn't a star, though, was he? Well, it could have been. It could have been if they hadn't been holding him back.
Careful what you say. We don't want to be getting any Daryl Dyke backlash.
I asked on the match ball stream last night. What do we do with Willy? Because he don't want to be here anymore. Do we make him stay? I think we should make him stay. Make him stay and grow up. That's what they need to say to him. They're not saying, "We've told you you're not going now. Bloody grow up."
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it, in a very short period of time for Willy? From being like a little enthusiastic cherub boy to a grasping little bastard.
Well, I mentioned on the shows, didn't I? Like, I'd heard whispers that he'd been misbehaving last season, and now this modus operandi does seem to fit. I don't know how true it is. It's never been confirmed, but this trying to force your way out. You shouldn't have signed a legally binding contract, you daft little bastard.
I mean, that's the thing with footballers, isn't it?
Have you ever bought anything on hire purchase that you regretted getting or anything like that?
You know.
I know. Yeah. You're a cash man, aren't you, up front?
I'm not
trying to get a deal or a second.
I don't like paying for stuff monthly. Generally, it upsets me. I don't like seeing it going out.
Like even a DFS sofa, which is like, it's always interest free, but obviously they put the cost up, don't they, whatever. I bored of my own voice. Shut up.
Have you ever been let down by your Willy before?
No, never.
No, good. There's another question for you.
It's funny that he played against Cardiff
many times.
That's an interesting angle to all this, as if he's like, so I'll give it a go. The Championship. He may have had Liam Cooper telling him, "Oh no, it'll be good. Don't worry about it. It'll be great." And then one afternoon against Cardiff, it's like, nah, I want to go play for Sean Dyche.
It's a bit like when I tried to assimilate myself into Dunn's stores when I was 17, and I went and did one shift and then left and never went back because I hated it.
Yeah, he's had a look, and maybe he saw the fixture list as well, and he was like, "Another game, Wednesday, I'm not playing in that."
I've only just stopped being tired from the weekend. So mind you, that's how I felt. I'm just channeling my own emotions here.
Birmingham's got a John Lewis though, hasn't it? So there might have been something to tempt him back to the league fixtures, just because he said he didn't want to play in the Carabao Cup. I mean, I don't particularly want us to be in the Carabao Cup.
Don't worry, we won't be soon.
Do you know what I want more than anything? I genuinely want us to get to September. And I know we always say it's a bad thing wishing away the season. I don't want us to get to September and wish away all the games, because it's nice to have the football back. But I'm sick of the transfer window. I'm absolutely sick to the high teeth of it. It's boring. It
is annoying just thinking, we've kind of got a good squad here, but then equally it wouldn't be surprising if in a month Harrison's gone, Nonto's gone, Somerville's gone, Sinistera's gone, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, that bit that looked really fun has disappeared.
And even this standoff with Wilf, if it becomes that, because what should probably happen now, because we've got him on a 4-year contract and there's no release clause and he's valuable, is get a bidding war going and say he's not leaving unless it's £50 million or something like that, what Brighton have done with their players, and Southampton are playing hardball with Lavia, aren't they? And so we've got to play hardball. And there's been lots of Pragmarathe, when he turned up, he was all, have negotiated contracts in my sleep at the 49ers. This is, the ball is shaped differently and the sport is different, but the agent game and the player game is very much the same. So he's kind of set his stall out to Neville Longbottom saying, I'll sort all this. This is not going to be a problem.
Sorry, Matt.
And it's, and now it's the test of it. But that's really boring, isn't it? If, the chairman of Leeds arguing with the agent of Wilf, and we've got to worry about that for the next 3 weeks of like how negotiations are going. There was even, I don't know, we're talking about the Athletic too much, but with the Harry Kane move, there was one where they said that the Bayern Munich's representatives had breakfast with their Spurs counterparts, but they had not discussed the Harry Kane move. Like breakfast in London, whatever.
I think you're desperate to talk about Harry Kane. Should we have a needless and circular debate about whether or not he's world class? Because that's the thing that people talk about. I don't think he is world class because he's not won anything.
Yeah. Should he have was he better than Jimmy Greaves?
Anyway, just talking of strikers, do you want one?
Yes. Harry Kane's gone to Munich, it seems.
So we've missed out on him then.
So he's missed out.
Yeah.
Matthew Smith, as discussed.
Yeah. He's the only other one.
He's an option.
So
it's amazing how these little coincidences are thrown up in the world, isn't it? Like, obviously we're missing Pat Bamford because he's got his regular industry. I was going to say injury, and then Cooper's Pat Bamforded himself because that's his plantar fascia that he's ruptured, which is that bit of muscle along the bottom of your foot.
Costly injury for him. That
attaches your heel to your toes. Yeah, and as a fellow sufferer of plantar fasciitis, I can say it's not pleasant. I haven't ruptured mine. Mine's fixed now.
He did his heroically rising to score a goal for Leeds United. How did you do yours? Walking a dog. Pathetic.
Can't even walk my dog anymore because he's got heart failure, bless him. He just potters around, yeah.
Sad now that.
Yeah. I hope you feel bad. You should.
Well,
Still in better condition than
I'm
him.
going to say you're not far off yourself.
I
So
actually,
two of you can just sit around him in a cuddle.
I got. That's what we do. I got plantar from doing a training walk for a charity walk, and I turned my ankle, but in the recovery process, it hurt my plantar.
At least you completed that walk.
So yeah, Somerville's out because he's done his groin. Have you ever done your groin? That hurts.
Yeah.
I did actually pull my groin a little bit. This was a sign of getting old, everything failing and breaking down. When I've been swimming every day for about 6 weeks, barring like 1 day a week. I have 1 day a week off. Feel great for it, by the way. But I kicked too hard in the pool and pulled a groin muscle the other day. I've overstretched. Everything hurts.
It's weird that the club have put out a statement of this. They don't normally do this, do they?
Yeah.
Like an article on the website and a tweet.
Yeah.
I feel like it just leaks out in press conferences normally.
No.
Maybe
they've been
they
into
need
it for a while.
Ward off interest in the likes of Somerville, stuff like that.
Let's see if I can find the most.
He's injured, and if you come in for him, we'll injure him more. Is that what you want?
Because that's what'll happen.
So, injury update, 2nd of February 2023, Rodrigo. 15th of March, Tyler Adams.
Oh, okay.
27th of March, too many. They didn't just name one. It was...
Let me guess, Junior Firpo was injured and Pat Bamford was injured.
Oh, it was the full Pat Bamford plantar fascia rupture. On a more positive note, Calvin Phillips, Liam Cooper and Diego Llorente have all trained this week.
Was Adam Forshaw injured?
Rafinha has recovered from illness. However, Ilham Melier has suffered severe bruising to his upper thigh and lower torso, i.e. his body, and therefore was not involved this week, but was expected to be fit to visit Saints. 2021, Rodrigo, bilateral heel pain.
I'm sure that'll clear up quickly.
But that bilateral heel pain, that was plantar as well, wasn't it? Because that's what you get. You get heel pain when you've got it.
Was yours bilateral?
Yeah. No, I think it was unilateral.
Yeah, okay.
Was mine.
2018, Liam Cooper.
All right, Moscow, we get it. They've put injury updates on.
Adam Forshaw has made significant progress in his bid to return.
You've made a good case. Thank you very much.
Tony DeRigo is progressing well.
It's a video, Adam Forshaw recovery week 2. I don't know if they stopped that around week 47. I don't remember that being a series.
Oh, it's bad, isn't it?
Michael Bridges set to play in the Champions League.
So Robin Koch injury update. This was a good one, actually. This was a little bit different. So 25th of January 2019.
It's still going.
It was actually Leeds United injury update. Rob Price provides the latest. There's a picture of Rob Price and then a big Q&A with him. Rob, could you give us a bit of a general injury update, please? Well, we've got a few who've come back or are getting close. So Stuart Dallas had a toe fracture against Sheffield United.
I hope that, you know what we were saying, that Rob Price was like stripping footballers down for parts in a completely unfounded accusation. I do hope that, I know Max Aarons has denied walking out mid-medical. I kind of hope he did, and I hope that Price has kept a bit of him.
It's kind of surprising the Saudis haven't come in for Rob Price, actually.
There was
the old bone saw.
There was Berardi was in the under-21s, but feeling some tightness in his hamstrings. Pat Bamford back in training. Izzy Brown has played a few under-23s games.
Moscow, can I ask you to stop talking about injuries now?
Maybe we should start doing the video. There was a video for this as well, so you could hear Rob Price say it to you and
Izzy
look in his
Brown,
eyes
of course,
to see if
has
it's true.
since had to retire from football.
Anyway, Junior Firpo's still knackered and he's going to be out for another few weeks. I just want him to go away now.
Just found.
He's just an idiot of a footballer, isn't he? Go away. Stop taking money off us.
Oh, it was a bad injury, actually, wasn't it? Jesse Marsh gives injury update on Harvey Sutcliffe. Because he's done a torn ACL.
What do you think of the third kit, Michael? Pretty wild, isn't it?
I wonder if Sutcliffe's better. I hope he is.
I don't mind that third kit.
Yeah. It is absolutely wild and out there.
I saw it in the flesh last night as well. It's all right. I don't love it. Like, I really love the other two.
Yeah.
This is a step down as far as I'm concerned. But equally, even though it's not probably to my personal taste, you can tell someone's designed it.
Yeah, well, we should say we know Ed, who's come in and done stuff, and you keep in touch with him, who designed these kits. So I suspect, like knowing what his intention with the kit is and was, and what he's tried to do, which is to introduce peacocky feathers. There's a bit of the Leeds United bubble right in there in the print. You understand, even if you don't like the design, at least you can understand the place it's come from.
Yeah, whereas last year's third kit was
meaningless.
Like some grey stripes to some darker grey, and then some orange. Why?
Child wanted to do it.
Cause.
Yeah.
All right, fine. The away kit, what's that representing? Don't know. It's just a pattern.
Yeah,
Right.
So I'm trying to get Ed on onto the show. He wants to do it. We want to do it. Just need to make sure Leeds United are all right with it now. To come on and talk about the design process for it and why has it come out like it's come out. And I know from speaking to Ed, like, you've obviously got the home kit that's white, the away kit that's blue. Team's playing blue and white, so you need something that contrasts. So he's gone fucking nuts and put this out.
Yeah, it's like trying to cram as many old school Leeds United references into the most wild new thing possible, and also Ian Westlake could return to the squad for Saturday's clash with Hartlepool, but Alan Thompson remains a doubt. Curtis Weston is also close.
Ian Westlake was a good swimmer, wasn't he?
He was a very good swimmer.
Leon Constantine is coming along, but he'll be a few weeks yet.
If you Google Ian Westlake swimming or swim, you can actually find some genuinely interesting stories. I think he raced. It might have been like a high-level swimmer. He did like a head-to-head race. And I remember he was once on like TV sports program Grandstand that used to be on Saturday when we were kids. And he was shown going head-to-head with somebody in the pool. But yeah, there's an interesting backstory there, Michael, let me tell you.
Maybe it's a guide. Ian Westlake's swimming career? Probably not.
No.
Well, this would actually be worth a guide, possibly. When the club was waiting on the results of further scans before confirming the full extent of the injury sustained by Rudolph Austin against Watford, when everybody thought he'd broken his leg. United manager Neil Warnock said, "We're all shocked by what happened, and our thoughts are with Rudy. Other things pale into insignificance when you see things like that." It was fine, wasn't he? Broke his leg, he was back in a week.
Yeah.
Just shook it off.
The Square Ball Podcast.